My name is Dina Bons. I am a former co-chair, and I also had a job as a director within TGU. That has been a couple of years ago. I'm now full-time in politics, and I think it is really important for our trans community to be really at the top of the agenda when it comes to the human rights. At the moment, we see in the east of Europe that we do have a lot of backlash and with a lot of danger for our lives. And I think at the moment it is very much needed that we are in the middle of the European politics, visible with a representation that also can do things in ways in debates and representation. So that's why I recandidate myself to finish off what I have left within TGU, which was working on intersectionality, working on progress for trans people in the whole broad fields, which means that we make no divisions and that we are striving always for equity and equality. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon.
Hello, my name is Hamayak. I'm from Armenia and I'm 25 years old. Having a recorded experience of work in human rights protection and gender advocacy, community building, and trans organizing, I expect to become the voice of trans communities at TGU. I expect to have new opportunities of working with other professionals, meeting new people, community partners, leaders. Due to expanding my network, I will have new opportunities to serve my community and open doors for future. My background in the role of top management positions as well as memberships to other NGOs, networks, has shaped my vision of leading an organization. I believe in transformation and I can inspire and empower others to get engaged and take initiative. Since 2019, I joined National Trans Coalitions as project director, actively promoting the participation of trans people in decision-making processes. I have been elected a member of CCM Armenia, the highest decision-making body in the field of HIV. I have coordinated dozens of projects, being the national coordinator of TransMap in ESDA regional project since 2020. Currently, I'm a member of TGU, ICOM, ESVA, SWAN, National Focal Point at EKPC, and advisor of Freedom Fund. My vision of being a TGU board member will be popularized under unique umbrella of 5 NANs: non-stigmatization, non-discrimination, non-criminalization, non-pathologization, and non-marginalization, which will create possibilities for trans and gender diverse communities involvement into mainstream society and contribute to social and economic justice, trans movement building, and liberation of trans people.
Hello, my name for all of my ancestors is Lee Modukbe Anansi Freeman, but I prefer to be called Modukbe, and my pronouns are they and it. I'm interested in the role of co-chair of the board of TGU because I want to learn. I want to learn new skills that I can add to my activist advocates toolbox, and with these skills combined with those that I've honed over the past years, I want to do what is in my power with this heart and with these two hands to make the world a cuter, safer, and more equitable place for trans and gender diverse individuals. My qualifications for the position are somewhat limited. I have no direct experience with nonprofit boards, but I do have 10 plus years commercial experience managing international budgets and projects, and I have almost 20 plus years of organizing community and grassroots events. From which I've learned a broad set of perspectives and gained countless wisdoms. What I lack in direct nonprofit experience, I make up for in resourcefulness, openness, resilience, and curiosity. My vision for TGU is for TGU to be an employer that fosters a culture of care, growth, and empowerment for its employees, and that it continues to do meaningful, impactful work for trans rights. I'm hoping that the work is so impactful that orgs such as TGU won't have to exist in the future, and that trans and gender diverse individuals can live peacefully, freely, and fully self-actualized Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not even in my lifetime, but someday.
Hi, I'm Oliver Pavlidis, a trans queer activist from Greece and currently a board member and support service officer of a trans-led organization, Color Youth. I wish to be part of the TGU board as I believe this is the way to advance my actions further and offer more to the trans community. I believe that I'm the right person for the board of TGU because not only do I already have a similar experience for the operation of another NGO board that I'm currently on, but also because I know how to communicate with our other organizations or individuals to reach an agreement or resolve differences and find common ground. Apart from the daily friction I have with the trans community, individually and at the NGO level, I try to stay informed about other stigmatized identities with seminars and actions with other organizations aimed at this group to see with my own eyes how their sexuality works and what difficulties these people may face. Lastly, I have some financial experience from my university with courses and seminars. My priorities lie in the empowerment of the trans community with training to acquire skills both inside and outside the context of activism. The protection and defense of transgender rights at the time of the coronavirus have become the pretext for losing more and more human rights that were won with blood and lots of fights. Last but not least, technology is a powerful tool and necessary one in activism that I want to use. Do not hesitate to reach out with any further questions. Bye!
Hi, my name's Pip Gardner. My pronouns are ze, or they, them, and I am from the UK. As part of the TGEU board, and then my reason for standing is because I want to support the development of our network to share learning and solidarity across the region and to build our collective capacity. Day to day currently, I work with trans, gender diverse and gender questioning young people through my role as Chief Executive at the Kite Trust. And as well as working to improve their local environments, I regularly see how their experiences are affected by policies, by narratives, and by events at a national and international level. I really want to address this by using my skills that I've got from working at a European level in other youth movements and working internationally in United Nations processes as part of TGEU board, and that is why I'm standing. I believe that the only way we can achieve trans liberation is through cooperation, and that cooperation extending beyond the artificial division of our national borders. My vision for TGEU is as a forum and as a tool for strengthening our collaboration across the region.
Hello, my name is Purity Tumukwasibwe. I am a trans woman, originally from Uganda, but now I permanently live in Sweden. I am also a social scientist by profession and a vocal trans activist. I've been a trans activist for the last 10 years, and my activism started with me because I was in an environment in a country where it's illegal to be who I am and it was too hostile, and our voices were not heard at all. So I had to begin advocating for my safety. And I'm more passionate about advocating for BIPOC trans persons and also trans refugees and trans asylum seekers because we are more vulnerable and at the bottom of empowerment. I started the first trans refugees-led organization called Refugee Trans Initiative in Kenya to advocate for the rights of transgender refugees in Kenya while I was a refugee there. And I am amazed on how those trans persons that I left behind have the mantra to take on what I started and advocate for their own rights. I am passionate about seeing all of us sit on the same table and advocate for our rights. I think together we can achieve so much. And the reason why I am joining TGEU board is to bring the voices of those at the bottom of our community, the trans refugees, the trans asylum seekers. For us Black trans persons, we go through more than twice phobias that everybody else suffers, and the integration for us takes forever. And I think we all deserve better. And as we empower ourselves, we need each other. And me being on the board is to bring that kind of expertise from that kind of angle, and also join forces with every other beautiful, amazing, gorgeous trans activist at TGEU, and together we win. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Ravina Al-Masaudi. I'm a 26-year-old neurodivergent and biracial trans woman from Johannesburg, South Africa. In my life, I have known poverty, discrimination, prejudice, and even violence. I have been on more waiting lists than I care to remember, at the mercy of healthcare practitioners and government bureaucrats who could care less about my well-being. In early 2020, shortly before I moved to Ireland, I almost passed away from complications that arose from gender confirmation surgery. When I was in the emergency care unit, I made a promise to myself that if I survived, I would use my life to become a force of good in the world, using my voice, experience, and skills to enact positive change. I have experience working in digital innovation and business transformation, primarily with the senior management of large and small companies, guiding and implementing them to implement changes to their strategy so they can reach organizational goals and objectives. I have qualifications in digital transformation management, software engineering, and I'm currently pursuing a diploma in business management. In addition to my lived experience of being an out and proud trans woman for 10 plus years in a developing country, my activism includes 2 years of being a facilitator for the Trans Limerick community, a peer support group based out of Limerick, Ireland. I also provide a trans feminine perspective as a senior ambassador for the Shona Project, a non-profit organization that seeks to empower, uplift, and celebrate young women living in Ireland. My experience and skill set is as diverse as I am, ranging from facilitating meetings, workshops, events, analyzing and formulating strategies. The TGEU is all about empowering, advocating, and uplifting the transgender community in both the EU and Central Asia. I hope to see a TGEU that is diverse and intersectional, working for all the members of our community. I hope to see a TGEU that is digitally transformed, utilizing technology to further transform the lives of its members. As a board member, I hope to assist the TGEU in realizing this vision. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sarah Phillips, and I am putting my name forward for election to the Board of Directors of TGEU. I'm also asking you to consider voting for me for one of the positions of co-chair. Over the past 2 years, I've been proud to serve you as treasurer of the organisation. I have worked for the last 25 years on behalf of our community in Ireland, at European level and globally. I spent 10 years as chair of Transgender Equality Network Ireland, otherwise known as TENI, playing a pivotal role within negotiations for gender recognition based on self-determination. I am also a co-chair of the International Trans Fund and a board member of the National Women's Council. Right now, TGEU is at a pivotal moment in our history. We've worked hard over the past 2 years to stabilise and secure the organisation, both financially and increasing staff and projects. It is important that the organisation has a strong and experienced and dedicated board that will support our director and his staff. I believe the experience that I have both at NGO level and in the corporate world will enhance that board and increase the experience that we need to move forward and progress the rights for trans people throughout Europe and Central Asia. I would hope you will consider voting for me on the 11th of March.
Hello everyone, my name is Suma. I'm a trans woman from Egypt and I'm a refugee in Europe. Now I am based in Germany, Berlin. I am co-founder for Welcome LGBT Refugees Athens in 2016. I was a board member at RFSL Stockholm between 2017 and 18. Also, I am now a board member at Crossing Pride USA California, Los Angeles, under California University, the organization I am a board member at. I am a founder for Trans Newcomers Stockholm, and now I'm living in Germany. I have the skills to organize groups and community building, and I am hoping to bring all my expertise since 2016 until now to be able to work with TGEU to develop the trans people's living situations, to improve it, and also to be able to help, because I was mainly as an individual activist, and now it would be great to be a part of TGEU as the biggest trans organization in Europe and Central Asia. So I wish I get nominated, and it would be like a great collaboration between TGU and I to be able to support the trans community. Thank you.
Dear members, a warm welcome from Amsterdam, Netherlands. Let me briefly introduce myself. I am Freer, and I'm a long-time trans non-binary agender activist, and my saying about myself is always, as the wind blows, blows my gender. I am the founder of the first genderqueer collective in the Netherlands from 2002, not existing anymore, but the Transgender Network Netherlands, which I co-founded in 2006, has grown to be the largest and, well, yeah, the only big NGO around trans rights in the Netherlands. Also, a couple of years ago, I started education and advocacy on depathologization here in the country and also on the European level with a couple of networks, among which Transgender Europe. Right now, I am finishing a human rights and depath-based alternative vision on how to do trans healthcare. And I hope to be able to make that an international one with the help of my fellow activists from Europe and Central Asia and the help of Transgender Europe. I have been on the board before from 2012 to 2018, and then in 2020 at the interim board. The organization and myself, we have grown, and we're both in a different phase, and I think we can both profit from each other's development. I aspire to become your co-chair, and that's not because of the honor that would come with it, or because it's so important as a power position. I don't care that much about power. Really, power doesn't interest me much. It's far more actually a serving position. It requires some humility towards the network, towards the membership, towards the goals of the network, actually. My work and my activism take place in as much as possible an intersectional and decolonial context. I think that is the way that the trans movement and actually every social movement, social justice movement, should go towards intersectionality, because all our struggles are connected. There's not a single issue struggle because there is no single issue life, as Audre Lorde famously said. I think that the movement should go towards equity and equality and economic justice for all trans people, non-binary people everywhere, and especially in Europe and Central Asia, as that is the region where Transgender Europe is active in. I've been on other boards also of other organizations, and I am convinced of the importance of procedures and of rules and sticking to them while doing a radical politics. A radical mostly means going back to the roots of equity and justice here. I regularly facilitate meetings, train new teams, and in recent years I've gained some experience in conflict management. I seriously want to help the movement forward in these messy times that we are in this messy world where so many people are turning against trans people. Well, actually, it's not that many people, but mostly it's a group of very powerful people, and that is what we should counter, what we are countering, and I want to help the movement further in this. I want to help lead us clearly forward towards justice for all trans people. I hope you deem me worthy of your co-chair vote also next to your board vote, and I see you online on the 11th of March. Thanks for watching.